with banking or financials, either which one. Starting with Goldman Sachs, the market has retracted quite a bit, with the Dow only up 79 points opposed to the 120 it was a little bit ago. Start with Goldman. Goldman's having a rough time. They're having a real rough time. When was their high? November 2nd was their high. Yeah, they fired right here. Look, this is a lot of indecision, right? Are we at a line where I would be a buyer? Yes, it is at our line that we drew, our little teal line. So I am a buyer, but I'm a cautious buyer, a very cautious buyer, because Goldman Sachs is in a downward trend, making new lows literally, when was our first low? Well, no, kind of like here. So November 10th, then we're just not looking very good at all with Goldman Sachs. But I would say, if you are aggressive, then this is an aggressive place to buy. It's at our support. But just know, if it drops out support, get out immediately. TROW price. Banks kind of got hammered this last week. We were for a while, we were in a downward trend, but we're kind of bucking that trend by breaking out right here. Let's draw ourselves a line. Above this teal line, I would be a buyer. Below the tier line, I would be very cautious. As long as we don't break all the way down below the 191, then it's still pretty bullish, but I would not get excited until it's above this teal line. FAS, also, as we already know, FAS can turn from beautiful to ugly and ugly all in the blink of an eye, right? So we're retesting our December 16 high. We did that a couple times. Momentum is building. We're in a nice little squeeze. If the market continues to rise, or really it's the banks, right? We still have a gap to fill all the way up to 41. Keep that in mind. But again, the market is 40 points, and this is the Dow, 40 points from its high this morning. So just keep that in mind. We might come all the way down to this red line, which is 128, before we decide to retry to take this 134. But above the 134, I would be more aggressive. I'm already slightly aggressive but I would be much more aggressive above the 34.54. Let's talk to Chuck, and I would say anything above 84.49, I would be a buyer. Anything below, I'd be very cautious. If we come back down to the 82.44, I might look to buy another small little piece, but I'm not really excited because we are right by highs, so it's not like we've had a bad day. 1, 2, 3, 4 straight days down, and we try to retest it on Thursday, so I'm not saying this is the worst stock ever. No, I'm saying I'll be less aggressive at the 82.44 than I would above 84.49. If it goes above 84.49, target 87.09. If we come back here, back to the 82.44, then target below that, if we cannot hold, would be down at the 81.20, 81.19. Anywhere in this general area right over here. Now, do I think the banks are just going to implode? Not really. But again, the market has lost now 45 points from the high. KKR has been a massive disappointment. And I would stay away until we are above 74.76. Now, if we can't hold this little double bottom right here, target would be 72.87. But if we can get above this little cluster of lines, then our target would be to break the 78.50 and head to the 82.18. CME, this looks fine. We're in the upward 50% of the long term, extension. They're paying their dividends, right? Payable dividend. I don't remember when I collected the $3, but it's probably coming to me soon. Just keep that in mind. And on that day, it's supposed to have been a special dividend because they did not drop. 22.652 looks like a great spot to hold. As long as we, like I said, as long as we don't go drop really. If we drop and double bottom right here and end the day above this line, I'd still say it's pretty bullish. But when we start closing below this line, that's when you might need to reevaluate if you're in the right position. But if we can hold that line, next target will be 23445. All right, Bank of America's in a nice little squeeze. Watch the momentum. It looks like it's gonna. The momentum is going to the positive side. We're having a lot of trouble trying to break this 45. What's that? Something just hit my ear. If we can hold this double bottom, then I would see, because we're making higher highs or higher. Well, not really. We haven't really dropped, but it looks as if it wants to try to take this 45. If it can take the 45 and hold it, then I'd be a much more confident buyer of closing the gap up at the 47.28. Look at the squeeze. The squeeze looks like the momentum is coming up, even on a day where it hit the little minor low. The momentum is at its highest. So I would be a buyer of Northern Trust above 118.75. Anything below that, it's time to go. Blackstone. And it feels like this was forever ago when we were, what do you call it, kicking ass and taking names, right? And it was over a month and 15 days ago. However, do I see that the downward trend is probably over? I do. We broke out of this little high right here. The next target for us to do is to break this, and then it shows the shift of momentum has truly changed, and we are going higher. We should be poised to hit the 144, but first a lot has to happen. We have to outtake this and outtake that. Now, if we cannot hold this level right here, then I would almost bypass this 25, and next target would be way down here at 22. BlackRock, we're in a pretty long squeeze. Momentum is to the upside. Anything above 914, I am a buyer. Once BlackRock gets out of this little cluster right here, then I would see. I think we were going to have the same thing like this, but a melt up opposed to a melt down. And if that happens, then it's probably one, the stock market's doing amazing, or making new highs, and everybody's drinking their champagne, and two, the banks are starting to move, right? And oil. So if oil continues to ride, then I don't see too much of a problem with BlackRock at all. And the housing prices, since BlackRock owns a lot, they basically own the world. So if the world goes higher, BlackRock makes money. But once we break out of this cluster right here where my arrows like circling, then I see that we're going to run to at least 946 to 959 in like a blink of an eye. So just be careful. And if that happens, watch out for FAS, because FAS will take off like a rocket as well.